Good evening. Welcome back to my channel. Hopefully, you're ready for another ramble with me, your host, Rhiannon. So, tonight is the second to the last night of the hashtag Neo Pagan November challenge that was started by Brittany, the Sunshine State Witch, which is the first time I've been able to say that the entire month, the first time. So, we're getting somewhere here, folks. And in honor of that, I did wear my Stevie shirt, my ode to Stevie, my ode to Brittany. Um, I am going to be making an altar tomorrow night, but I'll probably be doing like maybe on a short. Um, so I wasn't feeling well last night, so I need to catch up again. So tonight I'll be doing, um, it's controversial along with I think. So those things together, things that I think that are controversial. And for me, I feel like I fall into this category of I like to be in this category because my whole goal is to be in the gray area, to be in the in between, right? I try to not polarize myself. But I do think it's kind of controversial that, and it's controversial to two different groups. It's controversial to the pagans and the witches, and it's controversial to the Christians. I consider myself a Christian witch. And it's a very controversial thing because and I get it. Like a lot of people have religious trauma, as I did for many, 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 many years. And I've only recently come to peace with my relationship with Yeshua, Jesus Christ, whatever you want to call him, whether you want to think that he is real or, these are just fables. I feel his spirit and I feel a relationship with him that I tried to always make happen when I was younger, when I was being forced into a religion and I could never feel it. And then I ran from him and I ran from my relationship with him and from God for, the greater part of my adult life. And then finally, after going through the dark night of the soul, I feel a strong relationship with him. But I also am building relationships with other deities and I don't personally feel like I have to choose. And I know that makes a lot of people very uncomfortable and it's very controversial, which, is kind of also, I could have talked about this the other night for it's taboo, right? But I don't care. I'm at the point of an age where, thank God, one of the best parts about aging, if you're watching this and you're a younger witch, trust me, one day you're not going to give a fuck what other people think. And it's so amazing. And there's so much freedom in that. But to stay on topic, yeah, it's not very popular to be in that place where you have a relationship with Jesus or you consider, I consider myself a follower of Christ. I strive to be Christ-like. Um, I guess I can't consider myself a Christian because Christians wouldn't accept me either. Because I'm too much of a pagan and that word made me uncomfortable because I'm still trying to deprogram after all these years. I didn't even think I was a witch till I started doing these challenges, and I'm like, I've been doing this shit for a long time. I do work with other deities, and I do try to build relationship, and I do magic, and I do spell work, and I do these things, and it's controversial. And then just when I think I'm going to find my way into a community, which was one of the other tags this month, is that I'm afraid they're going to find out that I'm also, I don't want to sit and talk shit about Christians. I don't want to sit and talk shit about Christ. Are there a lot of horrible, really judgy Christians? Yes, there are, and especially in my own life. But guess what? There's a lot of horrible witches that are judgy. There's a lot of horrible Muslims and, Buddhists, and there are assholes in every culture, religion, group, community, whatever, right? There are assholes all the way around, no matter what you do. And if you spend your time worrying about what they're doing, then that's just feeding their cause, right? You're feeding your energy into it. So I personally don't like to spend too much of my time worrying about those type of people. But I needed to be able to talk about it tonight for the prompt. But more specifically to my situation that I've brought up before, I'm from Utah, born and raised in Utah, was raised Mormon. I am a direct descendant of Mormon pioneers that came here from the East, and the, New York, um, Missouri. They came here seeking religious refuge, and that's my heritage. And it's so interesting to me. This is also super controversial. And I had this kind of awareness last night in my dream. Well, a couple weird things happened in my dream that I'm just going to mention. They're not necessarily on topic, but one thing I remember clearly is that I received a very cloud audible, very clear, not cloud, clear audible message that Oramus is the Philosopher's Stone. Now, I did a video on Oramus like 4 or 5 years ago, and if you're not familiar with what Oramus is, it's a mineral supplement that's made in a very, specific way, an alchemical way, and then it needs to be kept really safe from EMF, which is electromagnetic frequency, and it can really help open the third eye. It can help do a lot of things like remineralize your teeth. It's really amazing. Ormus, Ormus, and it's also tied to manna in the Bible. And manna is what Moses fed and kept his people alive when they were in the desert for the 42 or the 47 years. I can't remember. And if you look at the Queen of Cups, she's holding a certain chalice that is different from any other cup in the tarot. You guys, this is why I'm Rhiannon Rambles. Because I'm going to be out here rambling about just whatever, whenever, but I'm going to try to keep this short because we're going to eat dinner in a minute. But the Queen of Cups is holding this chalice that is what a lot of people say. Now see how different that chalice looks than let me find another cup card. But I got to try to find and hold that in a way that you guys can see it. Like, look at these cups. That just like regular gold cups versus the cup that she's holding. That is a machine that was used to make manna or Ormus through literally just taking the Dead Sea salt from the Dead Sea. And that's what most people buy to make their Ormus is Dead Sea salt. But I live in Utah right next to the Salt Lake. So I buy from somebody who makes it with salt from the Great Salt Lake. So you're using salts. But anyway, Ormus, I got told in my dream last night, is the Philosopher's Stone, which basically is an alchemical process to transform lead to gold. And another name for Ormus is also called monatomic gold. Monatomic gold. Look it up. It's a game changer for your spiritual journey. Anyways, I digress. Also in my dream last night, I was made aware that I have family members whom I've been estranged from for many, many years who are watching my YouTube channel, and they're just creeping in the background and judging me. And, they're sending evil eye, whether they think they are or not. So hello, I know you're watching me. Okay. That's what happens when you're a witch, is that you know things. So I just think it's interesting that you would watch me and judge me or be in fear of me, or think that I am on some unrighteous path when the founder of your church, Joseph Smith, was literally a 33rd degree Mason. He was a Kabbalist, and when they found his corpse after he'd been killed, which I believe he was murdered by Brigham Young, who the Mormon Church names universities after and hails as a hero, but he killed Joseph Smith so he could gain control of the church. And it was actually Brigham Young who really pushed the polygamy thing, not so much Joseph Smith. A lot of lies have been told about Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith was a seeker of knowledge. He was a neophyte looking for knowledge. He found knowledge. He turned into an adept and a master. And it's so ironic that I am so much closer to the path of Joseph Smith than any of you, and yet you watch me and you judge me. And I just think that is fucking hilarious. TBH. So I was made aware in my dreams last night that I have family members that are watching these videos, and of course they've known for a long time that I was going down this path, but I'd never come out and used the words like I'm a witch, or talked about the different deities that I work with that would let them know that I'm pagan, or neo-pagan, or whatever you want to call it. So anyway, there's a lot of controversy, but how freaking ironic to judge somebody, whether, you're a witch. If you're judging people that are Christians or Christian witches, Jesus was a misfit. Jesus was also a seeker. Jesus was none of the things that you think that he was. He didn't start the Christian church. He doesn't condone that type of behavior. So to have some kind of beef with Christ doesn't even seem to make sense to me. I'm not going to also be honest. I had 2 shots of whiskey before I even started to film this because I was so uncomfortable with this topic, which is interesting because the other night for It's Taboo, I just rambled off about my, blood magic. But then when it comes to like talking about Jesus Christ, I am like nervous, and that's not okay, to be honest. And I've seen some people talking about, extremists. There's extremists in every group. There are people that are, again, assholes in every group. So anytime we're generalizing and stereotyping people is just stupid. So yeah, I am somewhere in between these worlds, and a lot of people aren't going to like that, and I'm okay with that. So shout out to the people that I've met. I was just commenting on Farah's video where I was saying, you know what, it's not about quantity of followers, it's about quality. And the people that, if you just speak your truth, as I try to do, you're going to attract the right kind of people. And I feel that I have done that, and I am doing that. And I really don't care if I never get another follower. I'd rather have people that are real, who are who support people based upon goodness and not similar beliefs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to be getting to this point. This age of Aquarius is meant to be where we can be different and still come together as one, right? So anyway, I'm definitely rambling now, but that's my 2 topics tonight, which are, I think, and controversial or controversy. And I'm sure that it will rub some hides the wrong way and whatever, but do take this as an opportunity to go look up Ormus. And if you guys want more information about that, again, I made a video years back, so you're gonna have to scroll for a while. That was at the beginning of my journey, and like nobody ever watched it or commented, so I never did a follow-up. But if you guys want to follow up on Ormus, I can do that. We can talk on depth about it, because like I said, that came through my dream last night. And then tomorrow I will definitely be building an altar, because that's one of the first types of craft I was doing, not even like realizing it. I wasn't studying or looking it up. I was just intuitively doing it. And it's also one of the main ways I use my oracle cards. All my second row here is all oracle cards. Then the third row is tarot. Fourth row is books, and the bottom row is books. But I use my oracle cards to build altars. In fact, today I was making some face cream, and I was trying out the recipe because next week, right before the full moon, so the full moon's going to be in Gemini in Western astrology, but during that waxing phase of the moon, I think it's going to be like Tuesday or Wednesday, the moon's going to be in Taurus. I am going to build a full altar to like goddesses and pull in a lot of Venus energy, because I want to really charge this beauty cream that I'm making with that Venus, Taurus, luxury, beauty, feminine. And I will be using different oracle card decks that I have and infusing this cream, and I'm going to charge it under the full moon. And if you guys want me to do a video on that, I feel like I would probably need to do a live, because it's just going to be a lot of like, like going and doing, and I don't know that I would really be able to stop and film. But I feel like if I just set up a camera on a tripod and did it live, if you guys are interested, I would be willing to do that. But anyway, definitely I will be building an altar tomorrow for the last day. I am so grateful for each and every one of you that I did make a connection with. Don't feel bad about the people that don't vibe with you. To me, that, like, if you don't vibe with me, it's okay. That's cool. I don't ever want anybody here that doesn't feel that connection, right? Don't force it. So thank you for those of you who stuck with it. See you tomorrow for altar.